So I'm going to record the call so that you can go across to other students as well who are not able to attend. The other thing which I just want to check with you is, were you able to just briefly update? Were you able to go through some of the the two other presentations, which is the principles and practices and hospitality management?
Yeah, I go through, but not all. Just little I go. I check. I already read.
That's fine. No problem. Right. That's okay. So my issue to you would be that what I would do is, as we tag along in the course, the idea to go through some of those presentations, and if you have any queries, then also send an email, which you can do, and that will come across to the tutor, and obviously we will end up replying to you with some more information on that topic or that particular point that you asked.
Okay.
Now the other thing we're going to do is just quickly see if you're subscribed to the news forum. So here, say introduction. Okay, so what I'll do is, after the session, I'm going to, upload ebook, on roll up, strategic marketing, and I'll tell you particular. So you should also receive this email, and we'll check towards the end that have you received it or not.
Okay.
What I'm doing is, I'm starting which is the strategic marketing for tourism and hospitality. I'm going to be going through some of the slides in the presentation, which is loaded here, called hospitality. Now, just to put this into a slide share mode. Oops. Wait 1 second. Yeah, okay. Can you see the slide?
Yes.
Okay, good stuff. So basically, starting with the, this particular first unit, which is into this, just very briefly, can you think of 1 or 2 points why marketing in general is important in any business?
Of course, without marketing, how we can people can know, about what exactly going on. Because if we don't do marketing, how we can raise our business? Marketing is, one of the base relations with customer. If you don't do marketing, we can build the relationship between customer. We can, show our value. We can show our what we exactly going to do to the customer. To what we're going to provide to customer. Actually, marketing is the only way where we can, show them, or we can, make them, convince them what exactly it is, the tourism.
Yes. So part of the things that you said are very correct. So I think let's look at it this way. There are different functions in the business. So one of the key departments or functions is marketing. And marketing is always to do with, the outward communication of messages which the stakeholders or which the company's board or the directors actually set. So marketing in general, sets the direction of, let's put it this way, the business and the goal from a macro basis. From a main standpoint of view, they set the objectives, for the company. Now, within the tourism industry, what you will normally get to see is that because you are in an industry which relies on consumers, you have to get your message out there, as you rightly said. And the message can only be sent out to the prospective consumers about various offers or various things which the tourism industry can offer. That route of communication is primarily done through basically the marketing department. Yeah. Now, it is one of the very key important departments when you look at any industry, but specifically when we look at marketing in the context of tourism, what we look at is marketing in tourism is actually based on trust, because you are expecting the customers to come across for repeat business. So one of the key things would be that marketing in tourism is based on something called trust. The other thing that we will study is that the marketing is also based on relationship. Now, relationship is important is because if you're able to form a bond or some sort of a connection with your customer, your supplier, then you will have a long-lasting relationship which will have indirect and direct benefits for the business at some stage or during the stage of your business. And as you can understand, tourism is a service industry. One of the key things that you have to always remember is that when you look at a tourist, he or she is actually buying a room, renting a place, or coming across to stay and spend some time in a hotel, is because what they are looking at doing is they are basically paying for your services, and what they will look at is when they pay for their services, they are looking at receiving value. So a value in the case is that, assuming you are traveling from London to Manchester and you're going to be staying overnight here, so what you will do is you will need to book a room in a hotel. You might go to Premier, you might go to Travelodge, you might go to Hilton, but what you will look at is, where will I get value for my money? So, for example, if your budget is £50, then you will look at maybe a Premier Inn or a Travelodge. But if it is a sponsored trip and it is paid for by the company, then the company might have different tie-ups and they might ask you to stay in a particular, hotel chain, and that would expect, value for money. So, tourism as an industry, when you look at, there is marketing, and marketing has three different aspects in particular which are of importance. One is trust. So marketing is used to build trust with your audience or target audience. Marketing is also used to build relationship, and marketing is also used to communicate that your service actually delivers value for customers' money. So these are the three contexts that we will look at in particular, when we look at marketing within tourism. Now let's look at the definition of marketing. As you can see on this slide, you see is that marketing is so basic, as you rightly said, initially. It is very basic, and that is something which we cannot consider it as a separate function in a particular business. If you don't have marketing as a business, as a function within the business, it will be very difficult for the business to function. So it is the whole of business that can be seen from a point of view of final result, and that is the customer's point of view. The business success is not determined by producer, but by the customer in the case of marketing in tourism. So this particular definition of marketing by Peter Drucker basically is in the context of tourism, and it says that the whole success of the tourism industry actually is delivered by the customer. It is not dependent on the producer. It is not dependent on the hotels. Or if you go to a hotel, for example, you see an image here, which is the image of a casino. It is dependent on, sorry, just go back for a second. It is not dependent on, the industry in particular. It is actually dependent on the services which I did to the customer by the industry. So this definition talks about the business, the tourism industry the customer itself and the services which the industry provides rather than the producer or the one which is able to provide the services. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at traditional definitions and traditional things. So hospitality marketing is a process, you know, it is also a process in which you start on a particular journey. That means if you are appointed understand as a scenario that you are appointed as a manager for a particular hotel, and what you have been tasked with in the marketing department is to attract more and more customers to the hotel. So obviously, this as a particular function is a process. That means you will start producing maybe some flyers, some leaflets, maybe do some promotion online, and then at some point, we expect the results of those promotions to come in. That means which will result in bookings, or let's look at an example of Christmas dinners. A lot of hotels and places, good restaurants have already sent out invites maybe the last month to start looking at booking dinners, which Christmas, you know, in the process of run up to Christmas. So what you start off by communication to start looking at an activity which is going to result in customers booking, tables is also a process. Now, for getting your company's services out to customers, you have to communicate, and communication could happen leaflet, flyers, promotions, Facebook advertising, TV advertising, things like that. One of the key things that you need to understand within the hospitality marketing is what all does the hospitality industry include. Now, a lot of people typically, when they look at, talking about something like, say, for example, the hospitality industry, what they basically look at, they only call hotels. But the hospitality industry is in general, quite wide and quite big. So you have in the hospitality industry, definitely hotels, you have restaurants, you have resorts, you have amusement parks, and any other form of entertainment or accommodation businesses. They are all a part of, what you call the hospitality industry. Right? Can you think of an example of an amusement park?
It could be like theme park, or even I could say it could be Joe, or amusement park.
So let's look at an example of a theme park. Been to any theme park in, say, outskirts of London, like Legoland. Have you heard of Legoland? Legoland. So Legoland is an amusement park. You look at Alton Towers, that's an amusement park. So they are all a part of the hospitality industry because they offer services to customers. They offer entertainment and services to customers. Now, can we look at other forms of entertainment? What is the other form of entertainment? What is this other form of entertainment? An example of other form of entertainment?
Entertainment, it could be like some kind of music show or something.
That is correct. That is correct. So sometimes when you get to see, there will be Bollywood or Hollywood stars which come across and they will do a show arena, right? So if you go and attend a music gig or a music concert, go to arena, you will typically be attending something called an entertainment, function, which is a music gig, and that will also classify as something which is a part of hospitality industry. Can you think of something which is modern concept of accommodations, which some companies and businesses have started to offer now? Have you heard of a company called Airbnb?
Yeah, Airbnb.
So basically, if you look at, this is a new concept wherein they expect you to rent out a property when you're not living and earn money in respect of that. So basically, this is a concept of a new concept of a bed and breakfast, wherein this particular form of offering your own, property or accommodation to someone else when you're away on vacation to be utilized in that property, earning money for you, to a concept of something called hospitality industry, and you get to see marketing happening by Airbnb as a company. So hospitality industry is quite huge. When you look at the airline industry in particular, when you look at Thomas Cook,
yes,
right? Thomas Cook, or you look at Monarch Airline, you look at Jet Holiday. they are also part of the hospitality industry. So airline booking, when you look at ticketing, hotels, restaurants, they are all part of something which is what we call hospitality industry. Okay. So when you look at doing this course in terms of your career horizon, when you look at jobs and opportunities within this industry, after completing this course, you are looking at a vast area or an array of businesses that would be able to employ you after doing this course. So it could be hotels. Within the hotels, there are various departments. You have front end, you have reception, you have booking, events, laundry, you have catering, lots of things. So in restaurants, you get employed within resorts. An example of resort would be, say, for example, you look at playing golf. When you go across a resort wherein you are able to stay and you go to something like a safari park. A safari park classified as a resort. It has arrangements for you to stay, and also you have sightseeing and other facilities, other activities that you can do within the park itself. So that might be an example of something called a resort. So all these different sectors are, let's put it this way, all these different individual hotels, restaurants are sectors within the hospitality industry, and they all are involved in the process of marketing to get and attract customers. Okay. Now, let's in terms of what are the various things which people look at when we look at classification of hospitality management in particular. So let's look at some of the concepts. Now, because you need to understand how marketing is done when it comes to a particular kind of sector within hospitality, in general, in the industry in general. So let's look at a production concept. Now, in production concept, consumers actually favor products and services that are available and highly affordable. So what would be a concept? What would be the example which will actually relate to production concept here? If you go back to this slide, the previous slide, when we look at restaurant, resort, amusement park, airline industry, that we discussed, what here would consider to be a production concept from these 4 or 5 things that we looked at. So a restaurant, for example, would be a production concept because their main business is to offer the production services, which is food and menu, which they offer, which restaurants are in various places. They are available and they are highly affordable. So people choose to eat and dine out during lunchtime, have to have dinner, take people out for entertainment. And that concept wherein they are predominantly, providing something in the form of services, which are products which people can eat and serve, is basically an example of something called a production concept.
Okay.
Can you think of an example of product concept? So product concept is guest favor products that offer most quality, performance, and innovative features.
I would say it could be a hotel as well, because
it could be a hotel, yes. So product concept would kind of apply to a hotel or a resort, wherein what you do is when you're trying to book a holiday, what you will try and look at is you'll have a budget, you'll try and match your budget, and then with that budget, what you will do is you will do a search with that budget in mind and try and fit a particular product or an offering, which is into that budget, and look at most of the features that you want. So, for example, when you try and book a hotel, you look for a spa, you look for a gym, you also want maybe a restaurant, and you would look for a swimming pool. If all these things are present in a particular hotel, what you will do is, and if it fits your budget, you will go out and basically look at booking that hotel. So hotels, when they advertise, they are basically advertising the concept of a product. That means a very comfortable room, a luxury room, or a luxury, which will, and along with that, what they do is they advertise the associated set of features, like how it's a 4-star hotel. The 4-star hotel has a swimming pool, it has a 24-hour restaurant, it has a free valet or a parking service, it has a 24-hour laundry, and these are concepts that they are trying to basically provide, but they are productizing it to sell their services.
Yes.
Okay. what you would do is when you sometimes look a Premier Inn or a Travelodge, you're not too bothered and fussed about the fact that it doesn't have a swimming pool or a 24-hour coffee shop and things like that, because your main idea of staying at a Travelodge or a Premier Inn is that you want to stay the night and you want to move on. So it's just the concept of a bed and breakfast.
Yep.
Right? Selling concept. Here, what you're looking at is predominantly the consumers are essentially looking at, to buy products if they see the company products the company promotes the products and these are available kind of across the channel. So an example here would be if you look at something like Money Supermarket, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Have you been to the website called Money Supermarket?
Yeah. No, okay.
Money Supermarket, if you see, they have lots of products that they sell. They have insurance, they have travel insurance, they have pet insurance, they have house insurance, they have broadband offers, they also have hotels and things like that. So here, the consumers are basically looking at buying different products and they go to a channel where they're able to compare some of these products easily, right? Example, you want to buy insurance, right? You want to buy insurance, but what you want to do is one of the quotes that you want, say, from Aviva is too expensive. What you want to be doing is you want to shop around and you want to look at maybe another insurance product.
Yeah.
So when you look at that particular product, what you want to do is you want to go to maybe particular one channel or one website, wherein you are able to compare up to 2 or 3 insurances side by side, rather than go through the process of taking a quote and the quote coming to you in the email, then you take another quote and then you start comparing it manually. So that kind of a concept is called a selling concept, wherein on a website you'll have lots of offers and lots of different types of products, and they make money by selling the products online or through a lot of products that users can come in and compare and buy and make a choice from that.
Okay.
Let's look at the marketing concept. Marketing concept actually focuses on needs and wants of a target market and delivers better satisfaction than the rest. Now, let's look at a luxury hotel, right? You find the advertising, say, for the Ritz-Carlton, which is one of the, or the Dorchester in London. You find these hotels to be available on various sites like Trivago, for example, which is a site where we can book hotels. Do you see these, expensive or luxury hotels on these sites?
Yeah, there is.
Probably not.
I mean, not too much expensive, like 4-star, 3-star hotel we can find maximum.
So basically what tends to happen is the concept of marketing applies from an aspect that sometimes for premium services or services which have a very, very focused need, like an example would be the CEO of a company or a managing director of a company wants to book a presidential suite or a luxury suite for a stay that is coming down to London. Now, you would normally not find the discounts offers available on certain sites for a luxury suite. The reason is that particular product in general within the hospitality industry is most expensive and there are less number of buyers for that product. And that product is then promoted using the marketing concept in a much more targeted manner. So where will the advertising of presidential suites or expensive luxury suites you will see in what kind of magazines you will normally see?
I mean, I don't really used to read magazines.
So the idea is if you see, for example, sometimes, or let's look at a different example. Let's look at an expensive watch like an Omega, right? Or you look at a Rolex, for example. Now, when you look at expensive watches, where do you normally see their advertising?
Actually, they are in magazines.
They are in magazines. They are in very premium magazines. So they might be in an airline magazine. They might be in the airline magazine. They might be only in the magazine which is distributed in the first class or the business class. Because what they would want to do is they want to target a specific customer which has the affordability and also they want to target basis the affordability the customers who can buy. And that kind of a concept is basically related to something called a marketing concept. So, example, Rolex probably as a company sells maybe, say 200,000 watches in a year across the world. But when you look at, say, a normal other brand like, say, Casio or Seiko, they sell maybe 1 million watches every year. But because the cost of that watch, is say starting at £100, £150, but when you look at a Rolex, the cost starts at £6,000-7,000. So it is not something a normal person or a normal individual can afford. So here, the concept of marketing within the industry is a targeted marketing. As they say, the focus is on need for target markets. They want to go across to the high network individual, HNI. They want to go across to people who are in the higher income group, which have the affordability to be able to buy that watch. Okay, last concept is societal marketing concept. Now, this concept actually focuses on needs and wants, but targets markets and is considered, or their main value proposition is that they look at delivering superior value. Right? An example here, if you think of an example of society, forget the concept and the marketing word, just look at society. When do you normally see groups of people going on holiday or vacation?
Basically,
so this week is a term holiday for school children, correct?
Yeah, now it starts.
Term holiday. When you get to see societal marketing concept is when you see groups of people going on holiday, or you have heard of that a company is actually looking at taking group across to a resort. So what they are looking at doing is like Jet Holidays or Monarch Holidays. What they do is they will book Sharm el Sheikh, which is a location in Egypt. Have you heard of Sharm el Sheikh?
No, I haven't heard.
Okay. Have you heard Marrakesh?
Yes, I have.
Okay. So when you look at these kind of places which are called touristy spots, the companies, when it comes to the tourist season, they try and advertise these spots with some sort of a added value to it. That means they will say, if you go and book a holiday in Marrakesh for 3 days, 2 nights and 3 days, the hotel and the flights are included in a certain value. Okay. Have you seen those kind of adverts?
Yeah, I saw a lot of. Sometimes they give promotion like from the different airlines.
That is correct.
Different destination, like as a tourist destination.
Absolutely correct. So when you look at the societal marketing concept, what you're looking at is a concept wherein they are going to focus on a particular market need, target a particular touristy spot, and then talk about delivering superior value. So what will happen is if you want to go across to Berlin, for example, for a holiday, or say Amsterdam for a holiday, what will happen is you'll have to book your hotel, you'll have to book your flights, and then what you'll do is you'll book your sightseeing. But sometimes you get to see that if you book a holiday to Paris Disneyland, what they will offer within the whole package would be flights, hotels, and also the access to the park. And those kind of holiday offers are seen to be delivering something called superior value.
Okay.
Can you relate to that?
Yes, I understand.
Good stuff. Now, let's look at some of the two broader concepts, selling concept and the marketing concept, right? And how do they differ? Now, when you look at the selling concept in particular, the selling concept, where does it start from? It starts from the factory. Why does it start from the factory?
Because factory build these products. So,
that is exactly correct. So when you look at a restaurant, the factory is basically the kitchen. So the selling concept talks about things wherein you have opened up a restaurant and the menu and the items on the menu or the dishes that you offer are quite unique. So what you're looking at doing is you're starting from the basis of where and what the product is, and then you are trying to differentiate that product from existing products, and then you're going to start promoting it. Because I've taken an example of restaurant areas, because if you open a restaurant, say for example in Whitehall, or Southall in, say for example, London, Whitechapel, Southall, there are loads of. So if you open another restaurant there, how do you differentiate your product? You will start from talking about the fact that, okay, we have a 100% vegetarian restaurant, for example. So the existing products are not going to be non-vegetarian, but they're going to be all vegetarian products. No meat, no fish, no egg. And then what you will do is, once the product and the concept is established, you will then start selling or promoting that concept. That, okay, there are lots of restaurants in South Hall, but we are the only vegetarian restaurant or 100% vegetarian restaurant. And if the product concept becomes successful, you will earn profit through volume, because people will start to look at your restaurant, they will come and wine and dine, and obviously they will recommend the restaurant. So at some sale, when the restaurant becomes busy, will start earning or start making money. Now, when you look at the marketing concept works the other way around. The marketing concept is, you are one of the restaurants in South Hall, and what you are looking at going to be doing is, because you're a restaurant which offers everything, what you're trying to do is, you're trying to look at what the customers are asking for nowadays. And then after identifying customers' need, what you will do is, you will try and create a package which will go across to the customers and cut away from the clutter. That means a lot of restaurants, what they do flyers every week, isn't it? Through the door, drops. Now, if you are one of the restaurants and you're also doing a leaflet drop, how would you differentiate your leaflet from the other restaurants? Would be, you will start to look at what the customers in that particular area are asking for. So if you're in an area wherein it's a lot of working people which are looking at healthy food or non-oily food or fast food, then what you will start to look at is, you will start to create some of the dishes or the menu in your flyers which will essentially target a particular market, which is healthy eaters, and they will be more or less looking at something called, say, fast food. And then your menu and your marketing will basically start promoting, say, we will start offers, donors, pizzas, burgers, salads and things like that. And then as the product gains importance, or it basically gets traction with the customers, and you start to get more and more orders, customers, because they're happy with your particular deal or your meal, they then start coming across your outlet again, or they start reordering, and you start getting repeat orders. So here, the concept is that you start with customer needs, and on the basis of customer needs, create a marketing plan or a product which is unique. And because the customers are satisfied, they will then repeat order that particular product, which will lead to profits.
Yes.
In the case of the selling concept, what tends to happen is, you will create a product which will sell in masses because it has demand within the market, and that would create volumes for you or profits for you. Does it make sense?
Yes, it is.
So in the marketing concept, you start with customer need. In the selling concept, you focus on the product and you start to market it in what you call the masses to create sales and profit. So the starting points are different. You see that? Okay. Let's look at some of the other things, which is the importance of marketing. Now, why do you think, let's put it this way, corporate giants, when it says corporate giants here, let me take an example of corporate giant like McDonald's, right?
Okay.
So McDonald's, maybe 150,000 outlets across the globe. They have increased marketing importance for the entire industry. What do you understand with this statement? What do you understand with this sentence?
Sorry, I didn't understand. Will you repeat again, please?
If you read the first sentence, it says corporate giants have increased marketing importance for the entire industry. What does this mean?
Yeah, because they have increased marketing importance, because when you read something about the McDonald's, there is a lot of advertise for McDonald's, their food, their services. So, and day by day, they are increasing their providing good service. Also, they are providing, giving us more marketing, like more connection to them.
Okay, you're nearly there, but when I look at from the concept of corporate giants, basically what you're looking at here is that they have, because they've set up the infrastructure. Look at it from a different point of view. Because these people have set up the infrastructure for, what do you call? Let's put it this way: because they've set up the restaurants. And they've set up a whole mechanism to be able to deliver food to customers. If they do not advertise regularly, or if they do not have promotions regularly, then what will tend to happen is the customers will stop coming to their outlets.
Yes.
Right? If we look at McDonald's, look at Subway, they have a need to advertise to drive traffic to their franchisee outlets. Can you relate to this point? So here, what they've done, they've set up a business. McDonald's, for example, has set up a business. Most of the business is franchise business. Subway, they're all franchise businesses. So if they don't advertise from the head office, they do not do marketing campaigns from the head office, then they will not be able to drive customers into these franchise outlets for business.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yes, it is right.
Okay. Now let's look at the second point. Predicted hotel consolidation into 5 or 6 chains will create intense competition. Sometimes you get to see that within a particular city or within a particular place, you will see that a lot of hotels come up, and there is a concept called, capacity. That the room capacity in the summer months is 50%. The room capacity in spring months is 80%. Now, what you get to see is in a lot of hotels, if you go to a tourist area like, for example, Las Vegas, or you go to a tourist area like, say, for example, Malaga in Spain, what tends to happen is that particular place is recognized as a tourist place as a tourist destination for a lot of travelers, a lot of people who want to come on holiday.
Okay.
And sometimes you get to see is a lot of hotels and chains of hotels, like you look at Ritz-Carlton is a chain, Hilton is a chain, Marriott Sheraton is a chain. So these are chains of hotels which are present across the globe. Now, if you in a particular city, you see a lot of hotels or hotel chains, they come in, then what you normally tend to find is there is a lot of competition amongst them for the rates or for attracting customers to book the rooms. Right? Let's put it this way. A good example would be if you go to, say, Disneyland in Paris. What they've done is they've created a lot of hotels within the park. But the hotels which have been created within the park, what they've done is they have created themes. So you want to stay in a ranch kind of a setting. You want to stay in a new, 5-star city, modern city kind of a setting. They have also got hotels which are in the form of palaces. So you want to stay in a Disney theme park palace hotel. So what they've done is by bringing so many hotels into a smaller location, they have created competition amongst the hotels itself. So what the customer then tends to do is they tend to basically look at having a lot of choice, and then because of the choice available, there is competition in terms of the pricing for the room. So not much differentiation, but a lot of competition in because of pricing and because there is oversupply of rooms in that particular area.
Okay.
Right. So in that case also you will normally get to see there is an importance of marketing, is because that is where the hotels will then start to differentiate. They will say we are a palace hotel. Some of the other hotels which are there, they will say we are in a ranch kind of a setting, an American ranch. If you want to come and stay in the outdoors and experience the say for example the field and the farm, then you come and stay in a ranch kind of a hotel. So what they then tend to do is they will use marketing as a tool to differentiate their offering and to lessen the competition in terms of pricing for the rooms. Do you understand?
Yes.
And the third would be, when you look at the importance of marketing, is when you look at growing competitive pressures, which increases importance of marketing. Now, when do you see there is a competitive pressure in the market on pricing?
Great.
Think of an example of when you buy grocery, for example, from Asda, Morrison's, Tesco. So, can you think of an example there?
Yeah, we can use, because Asda, Morrison, they are very, they're providing very similar service, no? So they have a lot of customers, like 50-50, or I would say 40 to 60, something like that. So they have always competition. So many products we have. I saw, very similar price, plus sometimes they give some promotion, sometimes other like since they giving promotion, depends on some product. Okay.
Absolutely. So an example is when you look at, say, Halloween. Halloween is coming on the 31st. Now,
Yes.
what's happening is a lot of these supermarkets are offering similar kind of things for Halloween. 2 for 5 sweets, for example,
Yes.
boxes. And they have also got offers which are predominantly related to this particular, festival of Halloween, which is on the 31st. Now, in order to ward away the pressure on pricing, what they will try and do is they will try and create a marketing message which will highlight maybe some of the significant differences of what they are providing in that price with regards to the competition. And that is where you will get to see that marketing will become important, because it will help to differentiate, the message when there is intense pricing competition amongst the grocery retailers. So you might buy a bag of onions from Asda at 159. The same bag of onions from Morrison's would be, say, 139, and the same bag of onions at Tesco will be 149. Now all the three of them, because there's a very less difference between the pricing, all three of the retailers will tend to advertise a bag of onion in a very different way. And how will they use it? To advertise, the differentiation of that message will be done through the process of marketing. So Morrison's might say that our onions are picked fresh from British farms. Asda might say that we bring the onions which are we pick the onions from the farm, and they are in our stores available to the customer within 2 days of picking from the farm. Tesco might put it this way, that their onions are most value for money, because they are from local produce or local farmers in your area.
Okay.
So what they're trying to do is they're trying to do away with the pricing of the pressure of pricing, by using marketing as a message to differentiate their offering the same product.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yes.
Okay, go to the next slide. Now, let's look at some of the best practices of why marketing in tourism is quite important, right? So when you look at marketing is very important in tourism and hospitality industries, because one, there are 4 seasons, and you have to reorient your marketing, for every season, for every different kind of offer. So let's look at an example of a destination like Dubai, for example, right? Now, Dubai has 4 different seasons. You have summer, winter, autumn, and spring. But there is a particular season in which there is more demand on tourism within that city, right? Which is the most important season in which you will see most visitors or tourists going to Dubai, say from UK.
Yeah, a lot of tourists. Yeah, good.
In which season will they go?
Basically, they go to the summertime.
They go to the, sorry?
Basically, they go to summertime.
Summertime.
summer season.
When you look at when the tourists will go from the UK, when there are summer vacations in the UK, a lot of tourists will go from here, including families and all that, will actually travel to Dubai, because that is the season wherein there is summer vacation and everybody goes out for a vacation. So that becomes an important season wherein most of the offers that you will see in the market at that point in time will be offers promoting holidays. So even before the summer holiday starts or the summer vacations actually start, what you will get to see is a lot of advertising and marketing messages will be related to that. Have you booked your summer holiday? I plan a vacation to Dubai, or plan a vacation here and plan a vacation here.
Yeah.
Similarly, when you look at the airlines industry, airlines industry, when you look at the best forms of marketing within the hospitality industry, is Singapore Airlines is considered one of the top ranked airlines in terms of travel, is because their message and the product that they offer are very unique, catering to the hospitality industry. Okay. You look at Dubai, for example, itself has a reputation of being the smuggling capital of the Arab world. So Dubai is basically a free port. What I mean is Dubai is a free port, and obviously a lot of trade happens, originates from the Arab capital of Dubai, and it goes across the world. So one of the best reputations wherein you can trade your goods and products and services without any restriction is an example of Dubai. And they have said that message through marketing. So Dubai is now transforming into maybe a very good international tourist destination because of various reasons. Look at Hong Kong. At some point in time, when you look at the Asia Pacific, Hong Kong's airport was considered to be the best international airport in the world. And the reason why it was considered one of the best airports in the world is that they were able to differentiate their offerings from other airports like in that region, like the Narita Airport in Tokyo. You look at Changi Airport in Singapore. You look at different airports like Swami Burna in Thailand, Bangkok. These airports were becoming hubs for travel. So if you were taking a flight to Japan, you would take a flight from, say, Dhaka or New Delhi. First, it will go to Hong Kong, then you will land there, and from there you will go to Japan, because they were distance flights, long-haul flights. So Hong Kong as an airport was able to establish that for any long-haul flight, you need to reach Hong Kong as a destination first, and that is where they created a world-class airport, and it was on the basis of the marketing message that they were able to differentiate this and establish it as one of the best airports in Asia. Ritz-Carlton, which I gave you an example before of, as a hotel chain, is a hotel chain, and it has built its reputation across the world on the basis of memorable experiences it can provide. A lot of honeymooners will actually prefer to go to Ritz-Carlton. A lot of families, when they go for vacation, they will prefer to go and book Ritz-Carlton. Is because of the fact that Ritz-Carlton has created a name using marketing in tourism as a message, their unique marketing message, that it helps you create memories or memorable experiences when you come and visit and stay with us during vacation. Similarly, when you look at McDonald's, the McDonald's, value for money, in terms of, value for money, has been established. So if you want to have a quick, fast meal, and you want a meal which is value for money, and it is something which basically defines the philosophy of McDonald's. QSC actually stands for quality, service, cleanliness, and value. So what McDonald's has done using marketing as a medium in the hospitality and tourism industry is they have created a concept that if you want to have quality food, you want to have good service, fast and efficient service, you want to have a clean area where you want to dine, and you want value for money, then you have to look at eating at McDonald's. So these are best examples or best practices of, best examples of how some of the hotels, Four Seasons is a hotel, for example, Singapore Airlines, Dubai as a city, Hong Kong as an airport, Ritz-Carlton as a hotel chain, and McDonald's as a as a business as a business has actually established themselves in the industry by creating some best practices and utilize the concept of marketing as a message to differentiate their services in the industry. Okay, so today the first, the part of this particular presentation was primarily to look at, an overview of why marketing is important within the industry. Marketing covers what all sectors within the TTM, as we call it, tourism, travel, and industry, TT industry in particular. And then why is the concept of marketing very important, and how sometimes the concept of marketing can be used to differentiate and also create offerings which help it attract customers and retain customers within that particular industry. And then what we've looked at is some best practices of some best practices or some best examples of how different companies which have different products, different type of customers, have been able to use marketing as a strategy, as a process, as a message to establish a differentiator and become maybe some sort of a signature brand within this industry.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where we stop today. So what we will do is this is the first part of looking at basically marketing within the travel and tourism industry. And next week what we will do is we'll continue with this and section of service as a tourism industry.
Okay. So then I will revise. Yeah, I will try to revise again. So next week we'll
revise this and also go through, keep parallelly going through some of the presentations, which are the tourism and practice, the hospitality tourism's principle and practice, and also look at the hospitality management presentation in general.
Okay, I will go through that.
Okay.
Okay.
And if you have any questions, what I will do is there is a particular book that I'm going to, which I think, one second, drop you a quick email after this. So I'll tell you is go through some of the pages of that particular book, which I'm going to upload now.
Okay.
Okay, so that particular book help elaborate on the concepts that we've discussed in the slide, in the presentation.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Be good.
Okay, no problem, Saidul. That is helpful, and we will touch base next week same time.
Yeah, next week. So next week 9:30, yeah?
9:30, yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much. Thank you. It was very good.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.